All right, so if you're looking at something like this, and right in between here is a connection. One here you've got a darker stain structure, here you have a lighter stain structure. According to what you read in your text, what is the darker stain structure? It's going to be the what? What's the anterior lobe called? It's called the adrenal hypophysis, or the anterior pituitary. Now the posterior lobe, you're going to see has a little bit less staining capacity, so it's going to be the neurohypophysis. Okay. Now, what are the two? You should know at least a couple of hormones that these are going to be secreting. So when they're looking at this, if they ever show you dark and light, you know the dark is going to be the anterior, the light's going to be the posterior lobe. The anterior lobe is called the adrenal hypophysis. The posterior lobe is going to be called the neurohypophysis. The neurohypophysis secretes two hormones.
ADH.
Oxytocin and ADH. What's the other name for ADH? Vasopressin. Okay. Now, when they go into the darker stain, the anterior lobe, there are 7. They're probably not going to ask you all 7, but they could ask you for a couple of them. That's why you need to study those. We'll have a quiz on Monday, by the way. We'll cover blood and
We have a test
We
Monday.
have a test Monday.
not Monday, Wednesday. We'll have a quiz Wednesday in preparation for your test on Monday. We'll also do the focus review tonight. So remember, 7 hormones are secreted from the anterior pituitary, the adrenal hypophysis. So know at least 3 or 4 of them for sure, because they usually don't ask for all 7. And they're all abbreviated, so you just have to learn a bunch of alphabetical letters. Put them in the right sequence and you're fine.
So if we see this coming up in lab, we just have to identify, obviously it's a pituitary.
It'll say ID tissue and you'll say pituitary. And they could have a pointer here and a pointer here saying ID area or lobe or whatever. Light is posterior, dark is anterior. And they could say identify lobe and name one hormone it secretes. Something like that, yes.
So, the anterior lobe shows that the pars, totalis, and intermediate, they're 2 different colors. Is that actually
Right.
what that connection was?
Well, here's the connection right here. They usually don't ask for that, but that does have a different name. What do they call it? Pars intermediate. Kind of a non-clinically significant area. So they usually go for the anterior posterior. So please remember the hormones from each of these and be able to name at least 3, at least for the anterior. All right, good.